Mr. Ben Rose!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FlairBar.com show. We try to bring you information about a lot of different things, from Flair bartenders to how things are creative. Now, sitting next to me, we have a gentleman some of you might not recognize, but we need to get to the bottom of it. Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Silverstein. I own Spill Stop Manufacturing, the manufacturer of the world-famous 28550 chrome tapered pour.
Now, let's just, so in case you didn't understand that, one more time, Spill Stop, here with us at the FlairBar.com show. Tell them one more time, because I don't think they heard it.
We manufacture, Spill Stop manufactures the world-famous 28550, the most popular liquor pour in the world and the standard for bartenders everywhere.
So when we see different bartending competitions, and bartenders enter competitions all over the time, and it's not even just entering competitions, it's pretty much in every bar nowadays that you look at, the 28550s. I'm calling out numbers. Some people might not understand that. Explain to me the 28550 for people that don't understand them.
Well, the 50 it has a plastic cork as opposed to the natural wood cork. So in our computer system, that's all that distinguishes. It has the plastic stopper. Mm-hmm. The 285, the number developed because the original pour was a German pour that had a soldered seam down the middle and was tapered, and that was called the 275. Okay. And that was very slow to produce and very expensive. So maybe 35 years ago, we came up with the idea of using a machine to put a taper on a solid spout and then bend it. And to show it was an improved model, we raised the number from 275 to 285.
To 285, going up on model numbers.
Right.
Now, I had a chance to sit down and talk to you before we started taping, and what actually in your mind brought the 285 to the recognition that it is now? That everybody in the Flair bartending business relates to 285-50s. What do you think how did we get to that point?
Well, it's my understanding that back in the early 70s, TGI Fridays had a bartending school in Texas for their headquarters.
TGI Fridays.
And they chose the 285 and the X-Acto test kit that we also offer, and to train their bartenders how to pour by count without using jiggers and everything. And they picked the 285, and over a period of time, the popularity has spread, where last year we shipped out almost 3 million units of just the 285 worldwide.
3 million. Now, I got to tell you, I sit at a bar. Obviously, I sit at bars. Everybody watching knows that for a fact. Now, I sit at a bar, and I got to tell you that I even look at the pour spouts all the time. And as weird as it sounds, you know, you sit at the bar, you know, I look at the bartenders too, don't get me wrong. But I'll single out a 285-50 pour spout all the time. And to me, it's a sign of a quality bartender, a quality establishment. And I think that that's where, in my opinion, Spill Stop is at now. It's in the finest places and pouring. And I gotta say, you know, thank you.
Well,
you know,
appreciate it.
If you haven't heard it from anybody else, thank you. You know,
well, we appreciate it
from me specifically. Now, what else is Spill Stop working on right now?
Well, we've just come out with a flashing bottle pour,
which we happen to have right here. Which
right, that's a free pour also that pours very similar in speed to the 285. It's a little bit slower, but when liquid flows through the pour, it completes a circuit and a light flashes.
Wait. So you tell me it pours the same as the 285-50.
Just about, right.
And it's flashing.
Correct.
So nightclubs are going to love this and stuff.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Let's see it work.
Well, I'm not the greatest bartender, but here we go.
Let's watch that one more time in slow motion.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And as long as liquid is inside, it'll still flash. So it can still flash, and then it's still flashing, and you just sometimes. But these are good for at least 3,000 pours.
3,000 pours, and it free pours. It's
right.
It's
so
a total free pour. Because when you
Absolutely.
said speed, the same speed and stuff, a lot of bartenders, and sometimes my information is not accurate. I know when I pour 285-50, it's about a quarter ounce a second. Is that still right? Is that wrong? Does anybody really have us exact science on that?
When we manufacture them, on every production run, we have a stopwatch, and to make sure they're accurate, we pour 10 ounces.
Okay.
And there's a range, a very narrow range that we allow, and we shoot for 15 seconds plus or minus a half a second, and that's for 10 ounces.
Okay.
So if we're in that second range, then we know that for the ounce, it'll be about 1.5 seconds or less.
See, this is amazing to me because, you know, me, I think, oh, wow, they're mass produced. You're telling me that they're tested,
We test them with a stopwatch, and we keep, because they won't pour accurately with water.
Yeah.
So we keep a bottle of liquor in the office, and after a while, it doesn't look that great.
Wait, you keep a bottle of liquor in the office.
For testing purposes only.
Now, where do I fill out a job application for this? Maybe I could be like the guinea pig.
Absolutely.
Right, you know, I could definitely be the guinea pig. So you test them with stopwatches.
We test them with a stopwatch.
Now, I've heard that you just said something, and I've heard it before. And clarify again, they don't pour right when it's just water.
If you remember your high school chemistry, and I remember it a little bit.
Look, do I look like I remember high school chemistry?
There's surface tension, there's the specific gravity, there's the heaviness of what you're pouring, and the liquor pours are designed to pour liquor. They will pour with water, but they won't pour the same.
It's chemistry. So tell me about this whole chemistry behind these things.
Well, the pouring speed is a ratio between the narrowest opening of the spout and the breather tube, the air vent that goes down into the bottle. Okay. And when you pour water as opposed to liquor, the amount of the water can actually get into the breather tube because of its surface tension or whatever, as opposed to liquor, which won't get in there. So when you pour water, it can airlock, whereas liquor, it won't airlock, and the pores will pour very smoothly.
And that's what the 285-50s, how are those so much more beneficial than the other ones?
Well, the design of the pour offers a narrow stream. It's a very smooth pour. And the air tube sticks up just above the crosspiece, which we call the flange, so a bartender can use his finger to cut off the airflow as he stops pouring, and there's absolutely no dripping.
Wow. Little secret thing, man. See, you learn something. You can really learn things here at the flairbar.com show. People don't really know. So now we got the blinking pour spouts on these things, and you were saying they pour freely and everything. Now, if anybody wants to get a hold of those, how can they get a hold of those?
Well, they can contact us at info@spill-stop.com, and we can give them a name of a stocking dealer who offers them. And they're also offered by barproducts.com, who also is a big supporter of Flair Bartending, and a big customer of ours, obviously.
Okay. Now, I got to jump back, and I don't want to jump around, but it just triggered in my head. You were talking with how you guys test them. Remember, I'm coming to fill out a resume, an application, in case I'm a guinea pig. Now, I've done several different competitions, hosting them, and I see the Spill Stop Challenge now, where bartenders are actually doing their accuracy rounds and trying to get exact down to the science, and we talked about the exacta pours, and it's just, you know, it's just funny how the Spill Stop from pour spouts are now a staple at every Flair competition. Like, is that where you saw this going, or is this just something that just happened to...
That actually, surprisingly enough, Jim Allison from the Flair Bartenders Association contacted me.
Really?
And said, you know, we use your pours at all the competitions, would you like to be involved with us? And I said, absolutely, because you guys are my best salesmen.
Right.
So because of the attitude about the 285, so I became involved with the Flair Bartenders Association through Jim.
We're glad to have you part of it. Now, anything other than that, can you give me maybe like an inside secret of something else that's working?
Well, it was very interesting. A couple of years ago, TGI Fridays contacted us and told us that their bar profits were erratic. And they wanted to...
Well, I was working for them.
And it turns out, as I'm sure all your members know, that there are a lot of foreign knockoffs of our 285. And when they tested ours versus them, they found that there was a substantial difference in the consistency of the pour from one pour to the next among the knockoffs as opposed to ours. So 2 years ago, TGI Fridays ordered all their distributors who supply them to only supply them with the 285.
And that's how it goes. So your recommendation, just TGI Fridays alone, big, large corporation, other managers, other owners, bar owners who get into the thing, 285-50 is the way to go. You want to keep bar product, you want to keep bars, I don't want to say bar products down because not barproducts.com, but bar profit and everything. You want to keep that down, you want to maintain, you want to keep control on it. 285-50, spill stops, it's just another way to do it.
Absolutely. It gives the bartender control, and it lets the customer look like he's not getting a measured shot, which makes the customer feel good. When he sees the pourer stop, he knows he's getting exactly an ounce. When a bartender pours with the 285 with a little bit of flair, he thinks he's really getting something special, and he's just getting his ounce. So the bar manager's happy, the bartender's going to get his tip, everybody's happy.
Now, let me ask you, when you go to a bar yourself, and you see, I have an opinion on this, and you see a bartender use a jigger, you kind of get a little...
Yeah, most of the time. Well,
you want to see
but
that
it's interesting.
free-pouring.
Some of the bartenders use a jigger because they won't use a 1 ounce jigger.
Okay.
They'll use a 3/4 ounce jigger and overpour, and the customer thinks he's really getting something special.
See, you learn all these tricks.
Right.
Well, I definitely want to thank you very much for coming by.
My pleasure.
Stopping by and talking with us and everything. People learn everything. And one more time, give them that web address if they want
It's
to.
www.spill-stop.com.
And we'll be back right after this.